Welcome back to Exploring the Edges. This week we have a bit of a somber message. I think it's, for everyone, it's becoming harder and harder to stay grounded in the midst of everything that's taking place. And I think that many weeks we come on and try to deliver a positive, uplifting message of hope and prosperity in the face of this unraveling. And this week I think it just needs to be spoken into, and so that's what we'll do.
Okay.
And many people are using their heart voice, their soul voice, to speak out into the world. And many of us are going to be called into that now. Today is the first day of Leo season. And so we're feeling this shift into really embodying the way that we're viewed in the world. And all of this is to say that I think that exploring the edges, I think that Jen and I owe you a bit of a reflection on what's happening in our personal lives and how that's really a reflection of what's happening outside in the world. And so to just jump right in, I think we're really entering a time in our lives personally and in the collective where I think many people are questioning what's real. And I think this looks like, not just in our own experiences and starting to question the structures around capitalism and consumerism that we've spoken about. And not just like, social media, I think is, for me, it's getting more and more dissonant. It used to be a place where I could go and catch up on some astrology and look at some art and feel captivated by the magic, the spirit of humans. And it feels less and less that way now. And so I think this is another place where we're starting to ask, is this real? Is the something that just pops into my mind, is what we're being shown, what the algorithms are showing us, feeding us, the preferences, is it the real truth, because I think if we started to look at the real truth, we would see the children starving in Gaza. And we would see the civil war beginning in the States. And we would be forced to look at all of the places in Western civilization that are just choosing not to participate in this reality. And so I think it's beginning to just really feel like, even myself, and I'm a dreamer, I'm a Neptunian priestess. I was so used to working in the fog and the mist and the veil and working between worlds, and it's just less and less truth, like a couple of the things that I wrote down is so we could be tuned into this news media, the social media, we could be tuned into the news, and I think those of us that have been doing the work over this last year, I think for a lot of people the theme has been really refining our sensitivity, refining our discernment, refining, embodying our own energetic frequency, such that when we see something, we're like, this isn't real, or this isn't true for me, or this doesn't feel good in my body, shut it off, or I'm not aligned with this, unfollow, or, I think we've been working so hard to really get into our truth of our frequency, our authentic frequency. And so we might have even chose to separate from the news, many people I know, do not watch the news because they recognize that it's propaganda. And so even if we've stepped out of that news media, what starts to happen next is like a splitting of timelines, you know, and it feels gradual until it's not, you know, like it feels gradual until it's not. And the two examples that I wrote down to speak into this is that, you know, I saw a picture of family members recently, and it took my brain a really long time to figure out who these people were. You know, I like are these, like, who are these people? And it's part in due to the changes that I've been going through. It's part due to how sensitive I am around, I've spoken before, maybe not on the podcast, but around like taking off the glasses of my energy and my love and seeing people without that. Part of it's that, but part of it is just that is not part of my reality anymore. And the other thing that happened recently is Jen and I went into a Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
And Jen and I have been in Walmart before because that's primarily how we do our grocery shopping.
Yeah.
And we had been in this space of like really being supported by this slow, you know, pick it out of the land and eat it.
Yeah, we had just helped, like, well, he's like an uncle, you know, pick garlic and pick berries and all this stuff,
yeah,
you know?
Oh my gosh, look how many bugs and the flowers and the blooms and the bees.
Yeah, so it was a stark contrast to go into Walmart, like, the next day and try and do the rest of our groceries.
Yeah, and the truth is, it's the thing that's the most confronting is that we just know is not the way. We know it's not the way. And so this is the truth of it, right? This is the truth of it, that right now it's really confronting, and it's really complex, and it's challenging, and there's not a way to sugarcoat that, you know? Like, we're really being called into the deeper parts of our own truth, you know? Like something that Jen and I talk about a lot is, you know, feeling really confined by the restraints around our reality, and like really not turning away from them, you know? Like, Jen and I have been struggling to do little else, you know? We're just grounding and praying and disassociating. Yeah. And this is the truth of it. And we're trying to spend more time grounding, and we're trying to spend more time praying. We're trying to spend more time in ceremony, but we are disassociating. Yeah. And we have a really complex toolbox of spiritual tools and gifts. And support. We have each other. Yep, and our friends around us, and yeah, a lot of guidance and higher level frequency of guidance, and this is still the truth of what's happening. And I think it's because we're coming to this point where, you know, Sabrina from Rewilding, I don't see her often anymore, but she popped in yesterday, and what she said was, like, we're no longer doing the work of our own lives, you know, we're connected into our past lives. Jen and I have talked about this a lot. We're connected into our family lineage. We've talked about this a lot. When we're doing womb clearing, we're not just clearing our wombs, you know, and it's really coming into this higher level responsibility, and it feels hard to hold that responsibility in when everything is uncertain, when everything feels like it could be untrue. You know, like really discerning deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the purpose, you know, like I've been attached to a purpose, what I came to do in this world for many years now, and I have to just completely let it go, open my hands and let it go. And this is the truth of where we're all standing, and, you know, even exploring the edges. I think that this is going to be our last episode, maybe for some time, maybe forever, we do not know. And it feels challenging to navigate this space, not because of our attachment to exploring the edges or our audience, not because of the attachment to the guidance that we're receiving. You know, Jen and I spoke last week, it was a no for you and a yes for me, and the week before a no for me and a yes for you, but we're always asking, and that's not the challenging part either. The challenging part is letting go of layers and layers and layers of identity, and really diving into, like, something that I'm sitting in, and I heard it reflected so well by an astrologer today for the mutable signs, this sense of like purpose, and whether it's from a place of like obligation or passion, like, and I'm really feeling it because my rising is Pisces, my moon is in Virgo, my emotional body is struggling to hold on to control and really surrender to this higher divine alignment that is the Pisces North Node now, my rising sign. And so I feel it all crumbling, even my identity as a healer or a priestess, an oracle, my identity as an empath, my identity as a lover, like all of these things I think are falling away, and they have been. And so that's not different. But the part that's coming up now is like, something Jen and I were talking about, like we've been building this resilience this whole year. We've been building resilience to really trust ourselves, and so it is not how much you trust what's happening around you. It's not how much you trust what's happening in your state or your country, on your earth. It's not how much you trust what's happening in your relationship. It's not how much you trust God. It's like how much you trust yourself. And like whether you've worked, because Jen and I both have, tirelessly, religiously, fanatically building that trust in self. Like, is what we're hearing true? Can we trust it? Is what we're hearing true if it's changing every day? And can we still trust it? And if we've done the work, and I suspect anybody who's listening to this podcast has, this is the next space, because it's easy to trust when everything is certain. How could you even say that you are building trust when things are certain? I don't think you can.
Yeah.
And we're going to fail. We are going to fail. We're going to fail over and over and over again. We're going to say the wrong thing. We're going to make the wrong decision. We're going to do the wrong thing. And we're going to have to learn from those experiences. We are not in a place, none of us know what's going to happen, and we're in this dynamic time of change. We're watching our old selves slip away. We're starting to see the glimmer of hope in a new way, in a new being, but none of us know what will happen. It could all be over tomorrow. And that's always been true.
It's always been true.
Yeah. And I just don't think that we really let ourselves feel it before, like we really are letting ourselves feel it now. Those of us that are on the embodiment path. And until you've really felt that shift in impermanence in the physical body, impermanence in the ego, impermanence and even in the government, in the ways that we've been held through our lives, all of it, till you've really felt into that impermanence, I don't think that you've had really an opportunity to trust in yourself or spirit or whatever the language is. And so we're being called to it now. And like, can we stay with it? Can we stay present to it? Like, now we're in the 11th hour. It's dark. It is dark. And there's pain. And I think we're being called to really have a felt, embodied experience of what this pain feels like. Can we stay present? And so Jen and I are just doing our best.
Yeah.
Lots of feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Lots of time in nature. Journaling and slow movement and nourishing food and daily ceremony, daily prayer. And it's still hard. And it's okay for it to be hard.
Yeah.
We don't have to sugarcoat it and say that we can like meditate our way out of the crisis that we're in now. And that's not to say that this is bad or we should be afraid of it, like it is the time in all cycles, birth is not a clean, ordered, anticipated process. It is sacred, but it's dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, these are portals of life and death, and they're stood over by forces that are not man. And so this is it. This is the gate that we're all standing in front of now. And it's not easy. It's not easy.
No.
Yeah, and so it just feels important to speak into that we're not, that there's not a way through that it does not involve pain, and it is our willingness to suffer that lets us have this embodied experience of the world. If we're not willing to suffer, we cannot see. We cannot see the truth if we're unwilling to suffer. And we're in the suffering now.
Yeah. Thank you so much for speaking into it. I'm really struggling to find the words today. Yeah, I'm just feeling a lot, you know?
Yeah, thanks for saying. Yeah, of course you are. We all are.
Yeah, we all are. Yeah, but I really appreciate you being able to speak into it.
Yeah, and I think the other thing to speak into is that, you know, all of us are on our own individual path. And so even though I might be in the unraveling, this is where my astrology is, this is where my life has taken me to, this is where I'm at right now, defining my service, aligning, surrendering. Someone else might be building.
Yeah.
You know, someone else might be investing and putting the foundation down and putting up the framework, and there's not one way.
No.
There's not one way. All of us are exact and perfect in our path, and we're exactly where we are now. And so it feels really difficult, you know, because I'm not saying that you should be suffering now.
No.
I'm just describing that my experience is born of suffering now. But your experience might be born of building now and of hope and optimism, and both are okay.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, both are perfect and aligned.
Yeah, I think it's just being able to like be in the experience you're having.
Yeah.
And if you're in an experience of suffering, you know, if you need to like pause for a minute, it's okay. We've been pressing pause, you know, but to still feel it, to still sit in it, to not completely abandon it.
Yeah.
And if you're in the joy and people around you are telling you that you should be suffering,
Yeah.
maybe you should be experiencing the joy, you know, feeling all of it.
Yeah, and that's not to say that this path for me is only suffering. There's so much joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard sometimes to even hold both, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess the thing is that there's not a way to move forward that is outside of self. You know, because it'd be so easy, Jen, at this time right now to just completely disassociate.
Sure.
And fall back into your old habits, not your old habits, but
universal
collective old habits, you know, of production and doing and exhaustion and, you know, GDP and safety nest egg funds, you know, like we could so easily see what's happening around us and claw back into ourselves. It is not the way. No. And so it feels really vulnerable, instead of clawing back and protecting yourself, to open to something that you know is going to hurt.
Yeah.
To something that you know is going to, if you're going to experience suffering.
Yeah, but when you're the most vulnerable, that's when you experience, like, maybe you're going to feel the most suffering, maybe you're going to feel the most joy, maybe you're going to change the most. You know, and I'm just thinking about this week that Andrea Gibson passed away. And one thing that people have been sharing many things, I think whether you follow them or not, you've seen, you know, I feel like it's everywhere. And one of the things that they wrote was about this being soft,
Mm-hmm.
and how if you look at nature, the animals that evolve the most are the ones that are soft, that do not have a hard shell.
Mm-hmm.
Like the lobster is like the lobster that it's always been,
Mm-hmm.
and the octopus, which is like one of the most evolved animals.
He's an alien, basically.
Yeah, doesn't have any protection and is forced to constantly evolve, and that's why they're so evolved, you know?
Yeah.
So they wrote about that at one point, and that was just one of the many things that popped up on my feed.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just like strength in softness and vulnerability. And that if you are looking for change, if you're looking to grow, you know, you and I are both, you know, on a path of growth, whatever that looks like and feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Vulnerability is part of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of feeling into that a little bit right now. As you speak into vulnerability, the importance of it in growth and evolution.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if everybody stays in their hard shells, as a collective, can we evolve? Can there be real change?
No, and I understand why people would be inclined to.
Sure. Yeah, I want to. You know? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because there's pain.
Yeah.
But it's also joy.
Yeah. And I think we've spoken into it before, like, the deeper you feel something, you can feel in the opposite way, you know? Yeah. The deeper pain you can feel, the deeper joy you feel. Yeah. Both bring us to tears, you know?
Yeah, grief and joy are the same thing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for speaking into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there's not a message really this week. Mm-hmm. Less to say that what you're experiencing might be suffering, and it's a very real reaction to the unfolding that's happening in the world around. And I still know that we can look around at the world and we can see chaos and distortion and destruction, or we can look around and realize that we're in the miracle of birth. Mm-hmm. It is a sacred process. And how we view this, you know, because all of the darker evil pieces of humanity live in this moment, you know, like the extinction burst that you've talked about before. Mm-hmm. Early in the podcast, like all of our darkest pieces are being activated now. And it's like, it's almost like, you know, do we want to, we see that the shop is being robbed, right? There's a mob robbing a shop. And like part of inside is like, okay, grab something. We're hungry too. Mm-hmm. And so we're being met with it, not in the literal sense, but in this like really broad collective, you know, like, and this is not the way. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, you're gonna have to go without. You're gonna have to be made aware. You're gonna have to experience the pain and the suffering. Yeah. You're gonna have to understand the truth of the nature of humanity. Yeah. You have to see it.
Yeah, and I feel like even in a very small way, everybody has gotten to, at least everybody, you know, in a more developed place like Canada or the US. Yeah. And maybe even Australia, I don't know, I didn't follow the whole thing, but has gotten a small taste of it when COVID hit. And, you know, like there was no toilet paper everywhere because everybody just for some reason bought all of the toilet paper. Mm-hmm. And people just lost their mind. And I was like one of the people that got to the store when there was no toilet paper left. And like, so like, I feel like, and I just generally needed it. It was on my list for like a week and a half. I was putting it off, you know, and then COVID hit and now there's no more toilet paper. But like, just, it just feels like we've had a small taste of it, of this like, you know, I need it too, or everybody's robbing the store, like I need some too, I'm hungry too. Yeah. This is just a little example that's coming to mind of that, like we've had an experience with. and we've had time to reflect on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you still using the same toilet paper that you bought 5 years ago? Like, how much did you have? How much did you store? Would you do it again? If your neighbor needed toilet paper, would you offer it to them?
Maybe you sell it to them.
Yeah. Or would you just keep it for yourself because it's not even worth the money? I think it's just like an interesting reflection point that has just come to mind.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because it is.
Because we've had a taste of it, a very small taste in this one example.
Yeah.
And where, you know, like people who could bought out and the people who couldn't were left without.
Yeah.
And who are you going to be? Because maybe the next wave is bigger. Maybe it's not a virus, but, you know, like, yeah, I don't know. That's just coming in for me, so I just thought I'd share it. But, you know.
Yeah, because I'm so glad that you spoke into this. Like, it is a privilege to even be able to intend to open yourself up to suffering. It's a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are living in suffering every day, and there's no opportunity to open themselves up to more suffering because they're drowning in their own life circumstances.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, we're so blessed and so fortunate to be in this life that we're living where we have the opportunity to try to feel more of the suffering that's present in the world because it's not in our present reality. You know, like, what privilege that is. And I think that as everybody shuts their doors and pretends that they can just stay in their hard shell, yeah, I understand why they want to, but it is not okay.
Mm-hmm.
It is not the right thing to do, and it is not how we build together. And the whole world economy, the whole structure, the international government organizations, all of it's been built on this idea that it's someone else, and there's, as long as it doesn't interfere with, you know, like our own prosperity, you know, we can help someone else in this way. But it's the whole thing is coming down. There's not a someone else. There's not prosperity for one without prosperity for all.
Yeah.
And we're seeing now that there is no freedom without freedom for all. This is what we're seeing. We're being shown.
This is the truth.
And it's confronting. And so some people are still trying to hold on to this false lie that there is freedom for some. It's not true.
Mm-hmm.
And there is prosperity for some if you work hard and do what you're supposed to. You know, if you do what you're supposed to, you work hard, there is prosperity for you. But we've all, you know, like, I'm just thinking of, like, you know, people who have worked their whole lives and had their retirement plans in the stock market in the States, you know, and just half or more of their life savings are gone overnight because the billionaires are playing a game.
Yeah.
And now we know that this is not true, that if you work hard, there's prosperity for you. We
already
know it's not true.
We already know it's not true. Like, what about the single mom who's working 4 jobs just to keep the lights on for her kids?
Yeah.
She's not getting ahead.
No.
You know, she's just keeping her head above water. We've already seen it. We just, you know, like, if you're not in that situation, it's easier to separate yourself from it.
Yeah.
Oh, people just need to work harder. What? Like, how?
Yeah.
How hard are you working?
Yeah.
You're doing your 35 or 40 hours and she's doing 80?
Yeah.
And you have a roof over your head and your house is paid off? Like, it's...
Yeah,
it's not even, you know?
Yeah, but I think people are waking up to it being a lie, and
it is.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so nothing to say except for to keep refining that resiliency, keep building that faith and trust in self. And it takes courage, you know, it takes courage to say, like, okay, you told me yes yesterday, it's no today, okay. It takes courage to feel into, like, okay, I've made the wrong decision. What will I do now? I said the wrong thing. I went down the wrong path. I believed the wrong thing. I believed this and it's not true. Okay, what's next? How do I move in a way that serves love? How do I move in a way that serves justice and freedom? How do I move in a way that serves equality? And these are hard questions. It feels hard to answer these. I know Jen and I sort of go back and forth between like wanting to never leave our farm ever again and wanting to just move to Indonesia and sweep plastic out of the ocean,
Yeah, we don't have a farm. We've just disassociated enough that we can imagine ourselves there, But this is where we're at,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just from the heart of exploring the edges. Yeah, to your hearts.
Thank you guys so much for being with us.
Yeah. Yeah, you are the miracle.
Yeah.
You are the mystery. You're loved.
Oh, so loved.
And if you find this podcast 6 years from now like a relic of an ancient time, shoot us an email. We'll probably still have Gmail. Maybe.
Who knows?
Signing out.
Yeah, this is wild. I think I just want to say, definitely like send an email. We'll be checking it, whether you see it in July 2025. It's 2025? Oh. or another time. And if you found this and are interested, follow us on Instagram. If we're on Instagram still, but I think that if anything is happening, you'll find out there, most likely, at least for now. And if anything has changed, then we'll probably post there, like find us here or goodbye forever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for being with us for these 22 episodes. There's a few bonuses if you're just finding this one.
Yeah, what a blessing.
Yeah. Oh, we're so grateful for all of you. This has been such an incredible experience. And who knows, maybe we'll be back next week. But right now it feels like this is it for a minute. So
yeah, with love, friends.
Oh, so much.